I'm Vince Rose, the founder of ACES, American Crocodile Education Sanctuary, here with my lovely wife, Cherie.
Hi, I'm Cherie Rose, and I'm Vince's lovely wife and co-founder of ACES, American Crocodile Education Sanctuary.
What is it exactly that ACES is, and what do you guys do?
We founded ACES, which is American Crocodile Education Sanctuary, for the sole purpose of rescuing problematic and nuisance crocodiles in the country of Belize. We saw the need for it due to the lack of law enforcement in this country and the amount of poaching that was going on all around us down in Punta Gorda, where we first reside.
Well, tell us, you said that you originally were in Punta Gorda. What made you move to San Pedro, if you don't mind sharing?
No, obviously. We were there successfully 2004 to 2010, so 6 years in the jungle, building our house, our home, research bungalows, a laboratory, all for the sole purpose of ACES. When two kids showed up missing in a mine village, their village psychic, they all consorted with their village psychic, which told them that the missing children were in the belly of a crocodile. So unbeknownst to us, while that was going on, we were here on San Pedro rescuing 3 problematic crocs at the request of the Belize Force Department and the Police Department. But meanwhile, 150 Mayans went to our property and looted our house, stole what they wanted, and then burned our house, the research lab, the guest bungalows, our cars, dog houses, everything we owned to the ground. So we were literally left with nothing, no proof of who we were, IDs, passports, driver's license, wallets, cash in the safe, guns, everything gone in the fire. So we moved to San Pedro because, well, we had nowhere else to go, and because I owned this house here, we had to move in here. We needed a house immediately. We had nowhere to live. We had no clothes. We had nothing. So we moved in here and slowly began to fight that whole system with court and with the legal system, and we're still fighting that system. So we didn't just run back to the States, because then they win anyways. So we stayed here to continue our cause, which is the education and rescue of crocs.
What have been your biggest challenges, apart from that, just in general with conservation and educating the people here?
You can't change a culture, straight up. I'm a white man in a culture that doesn't want me here. They don't want to listen to what I have to say, and that's constant. I'd say, I'm going to say 70% of all the people we talk to want nothing to do with us. But we are at least reaching the 30%. And we have made a difference. A lot of people call us for croc rescues now instead of shooting them like they used to do. So we have made a difference. Often enough, to be honest with you. We were set up for it down at PG because they had their own house, and they actually had their own car, and they had their own everything down there. So it was more feasible for someone to come down to Punta Gorda and do their training down there, out in the jungles with us. Now our training is involved in, they have to stay at a hostel, of course, and we have to go out off the island somewhere and find crocs to train and teach them with, which is not a problem because there's plenty of unwanted crocs that we get phone calls with. So it works out. We kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We remove a problematic crocodile from someone's backyard, and we get to train students like Miriam.
I'm Miriam, and I'm an intern with ACES, American Crocodile Education.
So how did you find out about ACES?
I wanted to get experience doing conservation, and I've always wanted to work with crocodiles, so I actually was looking for an opportunity to work with American crocodiles in Florida. But when I typed American crocodiles into Google, it came up with ACES, and that's how I kind of ended up here.
So how long are you in Belize for?
I'm in Belize for 2 months.
What are you doing as an intern with ACES?
I'm learning how to capture and handle crocodiles safely. I help them with their rescues, their relocations, their tours, and their community involvement things, so pretty much everything.
What kind of research are they doing on the crocodiles?
Right now what they're doing is they've done twice a year they do water testing throughout the whole island, so looking at the quality of the water. They also cut scutes off the crocodiles and send them for heavy metals and toxicology analysis. They take body measurements of every crocodile they catch so they can chart growth and survival rate and things like that.
Do you do anything other than catching the crocodiles out here?
So far it's only been the crocodiles, but they also help out the Fish and Wildlife Services, so if there's calls for things like anteaters or coatis or anything like that, I would help them with that as well.
So when we go out on the boat, what will you be doing with us?
I'm going to be spotlighting, looking for crocs, and also I'll be doing education with you guys when we get a croc on board or use the one that we have on board to kind of show you the anatomy and the physiology and things like that.
This crocodile was caught on our trip out.
They've got a never-ending supply.
That might burn.
They replace everything.
Baby.
Once every 20
We're about to measure
That's what
him.
we do, like, when I got
His
bit,
name is?
I just put
His name is Squishy because he has a squishy belly because he's been eating bad things.
Okay, the first one is called his snout length, which is from the front of the eyes to the tip of his snout. So that is 5.5 on the money.
This is all the important
It's
stuff.
called
right
head
now.
length, so it's from the back of his
What'd you get,
cranial
the snout
plate,
length?
which is right here, 5.5. So from the back of his cranial plate to the front of his nose, so that is 9.7. And we do his total length, which will go right from the tip of his snout all the way down. Here, buddy, you want to hold that right there? Awesome.
The 30% that you say will listen, what can those 30% do to help with the conservation and help with the...
The problem with that 30% is that they're afraid to confront their neighbor or to confront their cousin, aunt, uncle who's still shooting them. So we've gotten nowhere further than maybe 30% no longer wishes to shoot, kill, or participate in illegal wildlife problems. So that's a plus, but because they're not willing to push the envelope and make the report, I don't know if we're getting any further. Because without enforcement, without someone being held responsible for something they've done wrong, nothing changes.
A lot of things people can do to help. Spreading the word, what you're doing right now is helping. The volunteers that we have come are a huge help. People out there in their everyday world, if they join our Facebook page and our website and help share the information and the things that are happening, that totally helps. We also have an Adopt a Croc program, and so you can, for a small donation, adopt a crocodile, which you get a little certificate, but you're just sponsoring us feeding captive rescued crocodiles. And you get to name them sometimes. Sometimes people actually adopt little hatchlings. Pretty soon we'll have the eggs that Miriam collected from the sewage plant. We'll be hatching in about 3 months, and we'll have adopt an egg, where if your egg hatches, then you can name the croc, and if you ever come to Belize and it hasn't been re-released, we'll let you tag it and re-release it.
Cool.
We also have a various series of donors, including like Bridget Bardot Foundation and sponsors. In-kind donations are huge. If you're coming to Belize on vacation or you know somebody that is, we need towels, washcloths, electric tape, batteries, headlamps.
What advice would you give people that don't work with you guys to help conserve these crocodiles?
Biggest thing is be aware and don't condone any activities like feeding or anything like that, because that's what desensitizes crocodiles to human presence, and it's one of the biggest problems here on the island.